Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Troy and welcome to my full dividend portfolio update for August 2024. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing everything you'd possibly want to know, including my current portfolio value, my best and worst performers in August and all time, what was bought in August, the dividends received in August, looking at the month over month and year over year progress of those dividends, and then lastly, I'm going to check on my Patty and even show you how my very own dividend snowball is coming along. Before we go any further, I really want to know your year-to-date returns for your portfolios in the comments down below, so let me know good or bad and I'll do the same later in the video. But now let's go ahead and see how this portfolio has grown so far in 2024. All right, and kicking things off, you guys will see with this first screenshot my account balance and how that's grown so far in 2024. Beginning January, I had an account balance of $67,196.27. Concluding last month, that bumped up to $77,360.90. And then concluding this month, we have a new account balance of $80,821.41. Our year-to-date growth for this portfolio is $13,625.14, or 20.28%, and our month-over-month growth was $3,460.51, or 4.47%. Remember, since late last year, $17,000 of this account balance is my emergency fund stored in SPAXX, collecting a current interest rate of 4.96%, but that's been consistent for this graphic, so it doesn't impact this growth or the numbers you see on the screen right now. Now let's quickly see how much money has been added to this account to invest for September and how much I'll actually have to spend over the next month with this right here. So you guys see on September 3rd, I have $833.34 going into this account to be invested for the month of September. And on this screenshot, you'll see that we have that $17,907.74 in this account. Keeping in mind, I just said that $17,000 of that is our emergency fund. So we have $907.74 to invest. Now the question is, what will I have the pleasure of spending that money on, which I'll share with you right here. So this screenshot shows you all the holdings in this portfolio. Currently, I have 11 holdings, 9 of which I'm considering to be active and 2 of which I'm considering to be dormant. My 2 dormant positions are Starbucks and ExxonMobil because they are both failing to outperform the S&P 500 over the past 10 years, and that's my number one most important metric to me as an investor. Currently, I'm contemplating on doing a pretty major portfolio reconstruction in the coming months, but I still have to work out my own mental demons to see if that's what I want to do or if I want to stick it out with all these holdings longer, so stay tuned for that. With that being said, I do want to quickly show you the top and bottom 3 performers over the month of August in this portfolio, and then that'll build into how these stocks have done for me all time. First, let's take a look at my third best performer over the past month, which is AbbVie. That was up 5.7% just over the month of August. Then we get into my third best performer, which was Costco. That was up 9.2%, which is a crazy good month, but still not good enough to be my best performer this month. Then we get into number 1. My best performer was actually Starbucks. That was up a massive 25.22%. And this is back-to-back months with my best performer going up 20+% in a single month, which is wild to even think about. So you like to see that. That's big gains. Also big volatility in my portfolio. So that's I'm not a really big fan of, but you take what you get. I'll take 25.22%. So now let's take a look at the flip side of the coin to see my worst performers over the past month, beginning with number 3, which is ExxonMobil. That was up 0.74%. So I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's always a pretty good month when your third worst performer is still in the green. So you like to see that. It's only up 0.74%, basically flat for the month, but we didn't lose money on it. We made a little bit of money, so I like that too. So now we get into number 2, my second worst performer this month, which comes in at Microsoft, which is actually surprising. I think this is 2 months in a row that Microsoft's actually lost money, which is kind of wild to think about, but I was down 2.39% over the past month in my Microsoft stock. And then we get into the worst stock for me over the past 30 days, which is Pool Corp, which is down 5.47%. I think it was last month. Pool Corp was actually my stock that was up 20+%. So Pool Corp, I think by far is my most volatile stock. It'll literally go up 20%, down 10% in back-to-back months. It's kind of crazy how that works, but they do have really good dividends and they still outperform the S&P 500, both over the long term and I think over the short term as well. So next, let's take a gander and see how those results over the past 30 or so days has impacted these stocks as a whole, beginning with my top 3 performers. So looking here, it looks like Costco is my best performer in my portfolio, also my newest position in my portfolio. Also, I'll have you guys know, I bought this stock when it was quote unquote overvalued at $494 per share is when I started my position, and here we are. So I am am up 59.88% in Costco, or $2,689.88. Coming in as my second best performer all time is AbbVie. That's up 40.5%, or $2,192.12. And my third best performer all time is ExxonMobil. That's up 39.03%, or $1,376.08. And of course, not all the stocks I pick are winners, so let's go ahead and see the stocks dragging this portfolio down with my biggest losers. So looking here, my worst performer, because it had that negative month, is actually PoolCorp. It is down 4.81%, or $256.92. Starbucks comes in as my second worst performer, which is down 2.63%, or $114.97. And then again, we have a good news, bad news situation here. My third worst performer in this portfolio is APD. That's the bad news. Good news is it's still in the green at 0.07% in the green, or a massive $3.40. So you like to see that. I did want to mention up here at the very top, you guys can see Visa. I have no idea why they do this, but Visa pays on, I think, September 3rd, so Tuesday when the market opens back up. Visa's going to send me dividends. For whatever reason, Fidelity does this thing where they're like, hey, this dividend's coming in the future. We're going to mess up your videos that you want to do. So Visa is up here. I know Visa's in the green. I have no idea where Visa is in the green for me. I don't have a screenshot before. I do have an app to track it separately, but that'd make it complicated for this video editing purpose. Just know Visa's in the green. It's not actually a bad performer. I do also not know down here at the very bottom if those Visa gains are factored into this number anymore, since the gains, total gains and total loss column is blank. I have no idea. I wish Fidelity would stop doing this for the sake of my videos and also for the sake of my sanity. But, you know, I'm not, I don't have any control over that. So anyway, looking down here at the bottom, this portfolio is in the green by 22.65%, or $10,632.04. Now, earlier in the video, I asked you to share your year-to-date returns, and now we'll dive into mine and see how I'm doing in both short and long term versus the market right here. So over the past month, this portfolio over a time-weighted and money-weighted basis is up 3.35%, which did outperform the S&P 500 and did outperform the NASDAQ over the past month. It underperformed the Dow Jones. That one was up 4.51%. So 2 out of 3 this month we outperformed. Next, I want to go over to the year-to-date. Money-weighted is what I like to focus on because I do add money throughout the month and throughout the year. It's not a one-time lump sum. So year-to-date return, I'm up 11.14% in this portfolio. It's slightly getting outperformed by the S&P 500 and is getting outperformed by a good margin. I guess good margin on both of them, by the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 at 16.7 and 17.7% respectively. And it is outperforming the Dow Jones by, I don't know, 1.5%, give or take. So next one, I wanted to look at the 1 year. The money-weighted return for my 1 year is at 16.35%, which is underperforming all 3 indexes over the past 365 days, give or take, with market closures and stuff like that. But here's the thing that I find interesting. Over the very long term, aka the longest term I have to show for this portfolio, because I haven't had it for 5 years yet, my 3-year performance in this portfolio, money-weighted, is 14.93%. which is outperforming the S&P, Dow Jones, and the NASDAQ. So you kind of have to wonder, do I focus really hard on the short-term, day-to-day outperformance of the S&P 500, or is my goal with this portfolio to outperform the S&P 500 over the long term? And obviously, I'm a long-term dividend investor. My goal is to perform out over the long term. Now, don't get it twisted. I would like for my performance to always outperform every month. I'm beating the indexes, stuff like that. But if I have to take a step back and actually realize something, I do want my portfolio to perform better than the market in 20 years. Like, I want my performance to be higher. That's why I picked the stocks I picked. So I'm kind of worrying about and thinking through that. Let me know what you guys think down below. And like I said, let me know your guys' year to date down below. And if you guys want to let me know your 3, 5, 10, however long it goes out, let me know that too. I'd be interested to hear. But anyway, like I said, despite my really good longer term performance versus the indexes, I still do want to see if I can catch them year to date. And here you're going to see the bricks I laid towards that goal over the past month. What this chart's showing you is where I spent my money over the past month of August. So it looks like the most shares I added was with Next Era Energy, adding 1.225 shares. The most money I spent, however, was on Visa at $124.64. And my biggest increase in forward income was with AbbVie, adding $4.88 in forward dividend income. In total, I added 4.51 shares over the course of 21 trading days, spending $923.57, and I added $17.18 in added forward income. Now, with all that cash I spent, I probably had an impact on my cost basis, which I want to share here. So overall, I was able to lower my cost basis in 3 of my holdings. I increased my cost basis in 7 of my holdings, and I was neutral in ExxonMobil since it's a dormant positions and I didn't have any activity in this position over the past month. No dividends, no buys, nothing like that. So it looks like my biggest increase in cost basis once again goes to Costco, going from $552.50 per share to $558.15 per share. And my biggest decrease in cost basis does go to Pool Corp, going from $369.84 per share to $369.37 per share. Now let's get to all the good stuff you're probably all here for, the dividends. So this is part of the busiest months I have in my portfolio. I actually had 6 dividend payments and 1 interest payment this month. Kicking things off on August 9th, I had $9.13 come from Costco, which is higher than the previous payment of $8.61 and higher than the $5.63 this time last year. In total, I've now received $135.87 in career dividends from Costco, which comes out to 4.84% of my total dividends received in this account, which has also earned me 0.2 shares for free via the drip. Next up, 3 days later on August 12th, I've received $25.93 from APD, which is higher than the $23.87 the last time they paid me, the $15.39 this time last year, and the 30 cents I received as my very first dividend payment from this company. In total, I've now received $154.44 in career dividends from APD, which comes out to 5.51% of the total dividends received in this account, which has also earned me 0.589182 shares for free via the drip. 3 days after that, on August 15th, I received $8.09, this time from Apple, which is higher than the previous payment of $7.73. This time last year, I received $5.76, and my very first payment from Apple was $1.08. In total, I've now received $52.37 in career dividends from Apple, which comes out to 1.87% of the total dividends received in this account, which has also earned me 0.293 shares for free via the drip. That same day, on August 15th, I received another $58.30, this time from AbbVie, which is higher than the $55.61 I received the last time they paid me, the $36.81 this time last year, and the 76 cents the very first time they paid me. In total, I've now received $413.22 in career dividends from AbbVie, which comes out to 14.73% of the total dividends received in this account, which has earned me 2.460949 free shares via the drip. Then later in the month on August 29th, I received $17.11 from Pool Corp. That's higher than the $15.83 the last time they paid me, the $9.85 this time last year, and the 93 cents the first time they ever paid me. In total, I've now received $96.52 in career dividends from Pool Corp, which comes out to 3.44% of the total dividends received in this account, which has earned me 0.27 shares for free via the drip. Then the very next day on August 30th, I received $25.59 from Starbucks, which is higher than the previous payment they paid me of $25.40. Keep in mind the difference between the last payment and this payment is drip only, because I have not bought any Starbucks at all with my own money in 2024. This time last year, they paid me $18.98, and the very first time they ever paid me was $2.63. In total, I've now received $180.57 in career dividends from Starbucks, which comes out to 6.44% of the total dividends received in this account, which has earned me 1.914 shares for free via the drip. Then on the same day, and to conclude all payments received this month, I received $73.70 as an interest payment on the cash sitting in this account via SPAXX. The previous time they paid me was $73.87. This time last year, I was making about $31.43, and the first time they ever paid me, I made 1 cent. In total, I've now received $895.29 in career dividends from SPAXX, which comes out to 31.92% of the total dividends received in this account, which is then used to add more shares of my other holdings, so you'll love to see that. Now let's add all these numbers up and see how much was made for the month and do a little comparison to make sure that we're headed in the right direction with this chart right here. So if you look over here all the way on the right, you can see that to conclude August of 2024, I brought in $217.85, which is 84.3% higher than this time last year. Last quarter, I brought in $211.16, and the first related quarter of 2024, I brought in $180.95. So you guys can see the quarter over quarter growth of this this month overall this year, which is great to see. So far in 2024, year to date, I've received $1,328.75 in dividends, which is already 42.1% higher than what I made in all of 2023, and I still have 4 months left to go. Currently, I'm sitting with an end of year projection of $1,844.46, which would be a 97.23% increase versus 2023. Now, before you go, I quickly wanted to show you two more things, beginning with my career dividends earned in this account if you didn't want to take the time to add these up with this screenshot right here. Now, currently, I'm up to $2,804.71 in career earnings in this portfolio, which is 12.527809 free shares via the drip, so you love to see that. So last month I actually mentioned that one of my milestones I wanted to achieve by the end of the year was getting 12 shares for free via the drip. So we already checked that off and we still have 4 more months to go. So I didn't set that goal far enough. I thought it would be harder than that, but here we are. And I do want to see if I can hit $3,000 in career dividends in this portfolio by the end of the year. So stay tuned every month as I update you guys with this portfolio to see if we can get that. Lastly, I quickly want to share some charts that I think are very helpful, especially to the new dividend investors, and that's the tracking of the dividend snowball beginning with the $100 increments. Since we passed $2,800 in career dividends earned in this account this month, I have updates this month to both the $100 and $250 charts, so I'll just share those to stop my babbling. Looking at this chart, you'll be able to see that I completed the $2,600, $2,700, and $2,800 milestone all in August, which you can see all the way down here at the bottom. We now have a new average number of days in between $100 increments of 55.5 days, and as of last month, that was 60.12 days, so we are bringing that average down. And here with the $250 chart, it took us from 7/11 to 8/30 to go from 2,500 to 2,750, which was only 50 days, lowering our average from 150.3 days as of last month for this milestone to now 141.2 days. Now, like I said before, I'm going to make it my goal to keep this progress going, and over time, as the snowball continues to pick up speed, the time between milestones will drop, and I will continue to lower those averages. But with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed all the information I shared with you in today's video, and I hope it can serve as some sort of motivation so you guys can grow your very own source of passive income. And if you enjoyed this video, a like is always super appreciated, and if you guys want to stay up with this kind of content and my other dividend related content, make sure you're subscribed as well. Before you go, if you happen to be in the market for some super high quality dividend stocks, make sure you check out this video right here that comes out every Friday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. But until next time, see you.